Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It is time for the finals for the open bracket tournament participation play for the North American Challenger Cup. Noble Esports, third seed team currently, facing off against Hi-5, and that will be how things stand to close out the first 5 weeks of the Challenger Cup. Nevertheless, third place match going to be second place, facing off against fourth place. Again, no change to be had, so we're going to watch these two behemoths face off against each other in this best of 3 matchup. I'm expecting big things out of both these teams. Hi-5 and Noble Esports both had there were some bumps in the road for both of these teams throughout the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, things have been close. Things have been very, very close. The fact that Noble Esports just knocked off Resist, and Resist is seeded number 2, Resist aren't going to lose that second seed spot to Noble. There's no possible... Well, I mean, okay, only if Noble knocks off Hi-5. That's the only way that Resist can be dropped down to third. But, can they?
No.
No, they can't, because of third place points.
Yep.
Right, never mind. Third place, fourth place, it's too much.
Everything is currently locked in for North American Challenger Cup. So essentially just, a regular old gem tournament for the best of 3 here for these guys to face off for the final week. That said, picks and bans already well underway. Kabrakin, Neath are banned out by Hi-5. Noble Esports taking Bologna and Athena off the table. So those, ambiguous Athena and Neath pickups not going to be available for either one of these teams.
Yep, smart, standard. If Bologna and Neath aren't ever on the ban list, you've got to have some very specific targeted bans. Very, very specific targeted bans. Kabroken being taken off the board from Hi-5 side. That's a throw-out chat, and you should... I don't think he's broken. I like him. I like him where he is, but that means that BK Haste is going to pick up the first pick Geb for his squad. Thor and Isis, the return combo, though, from Noble Esports. This can be both early pressure and assassination potential later on.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's going to be pretty deadly. We don't see too much Thor these days anymore. He kind of just, fell off the face of the earth, and people's like, oh, he exists. Let's ban him for a little bit. And it's like people stop banning him again and stop picking him. It's like, I don't know what's up with him at the moment. Part of the issue is he can be shut down fairly easily early on, but Thanatos springs to mind as they pick Thor, just pick Thanatos, invade his jungle, and give him a hard time. But I think people just don't really want these. Thanatos, while he's better Season 2, a lot of people still not necessarily playing those type of big early game jungle bully gods. You still see a lot of the big Serqet, the big assassin type team fight junglers though. So it's an interesting one. Thor has some shutdowns, but people just don't seem to pick him up.
And so, Thanatos. I like calling him Thanatos, as opposed to Thanatos. Because he is Thanatos, right? That's the problem. He either gets kills early, or he just falls off into this thing that's kind of not even worth picking up. We did actually see some Kali play last week. I can't remember who from, but that made me just go off the chain seeing another Kali at this point in time. But Thanatos, he's so much of a risk, and if he doesn't get going, it just gets troublesome. Thor, on the other hand, assassination potential late game, has some stuns, right? That's what you're really looking for. The Thanatos ultimate's the only thing with the stun. And it's a lot harder to position, and it's got a lot less range on it than the Thor ultimate has.
Yep, it's going to be Ullr locked in, first pick after the counterbanning phase, but it is actually Ullr this time, not a case of they swapped out the last second. I'm looking at it. It's going to be some really, really sneaky stuff if you manage to swap this one, because he's locked in on my screen. This currently a Scylla as well as Alpwash hover on the side of Hi-5. I don't know if they'll lock that in. We don't see too many mages anymore over in the solo lane. There's a swap out to Vamana. I'd expect to see a Vamana before an Alpwash in the solo lane. Double mages, just way too easy to shut down these days. You pick up the Hog, you invade early, and they kind of say, well, I have no mana. This sucks.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, damn. Okay, what do I do now? Yeah, just gonna throw some in hands. I'm looking cool, I'm looking good. Doesn't really work anywhere near as well. But have a look at what's here on the side of things from Noble Esports. Could this be a throwback to Ojo Boom with the Ullr? God, I love OG Boom's Ullr. This could still be a solo Ullr. Nothing's locked in place right now. Apollo's still on the board. They can look to opt for a bunch of things, but Vamana is on the board coming through for Cypher. So I'm interested to see how he's going to play this, what the build route's going to be, because there are so many different options that you can really go for with a Vamana.
Without a doubt. Here going to be the final lock-in. I really wish the client... I had the teams correct, and I thought they were incorrect. Again, the client decides it's going to switch these teams on position, so I saw the tier lock, and it's like, wait a second. It's like, oh yeah, Elch pooped that tier. I'm looking at the screen, it's like, why are they back and forth? Pick the, what's going to stream, what's in the game client. Teams are backwards. I tried to improve this thing to make it more obvious what was going on. I haven't screwed up horribly so far today. There was that Ullr Ho-Yi incident earlier, but teams are backwards. I'm so close, Scott, but I'm just so far from getting perfect. It is what it is. Production.
We'll have to kick you off to the SPL soon. That's what we did with Hindu. His casting went downhill, and then we kicked him off to the SPL. That's what happened.
He is not allowed to cast Eager games.
Ooh.
That's because there'd just be too much Challenger Cup going on at the same time, and things would go horribly wrong. Catch fire and explode, and yeah. There'd be too many Challenger level things going on for anything to handle.
If Hindu Man was able to cast the Eager games, just think of what would happen to the servers. You could see them, they're working fine, error message pops up. Hindu Man and Eager spectating whilst Eager's playing. They're also playing another team. Has to explode. Boom,
Yeah. That's it, guys. It's game one of the finals coming up here in just a minute. It's going to be Noble Esports up against hi-5, who in theory are in the correct positions on the screen at this point in time. El Chapu is apparently playing tier, so whatever side tier is on is in theory hi-5. That said, everything else could still be entirely wrong. I don't know. You can yell at me when you can actually see them in game in just a few minutes, guys. Stick around. We'll be back in just a few. Alright guys, it is time for game one of the finals. Noble Esports to face off against hi-5, and this one, it's down to gems and bragging rights. Both positions are locked in going forward into the group stages. I'd love to say what order they were facing against each other. Grouping. Will they catch out the big little baby at the moment? No big baby quite yet. That happens at level 5.
Base! Ah, damn it. And now Adjuster's got the vision as well on towards El Chapu and Grishank, so they know exactly where they are. The thing about a Thor and a Tyr is that they have a lot of pressure and ability to steal away a buff, especially into a Serqet and a Vamana.
The way the camps end up being done for the most part, it's very easy to find a double Fearless as well early on, which can just ruin somebody's day. I just want to double check something real quick. Where's okay?
And that leads into a double Berserker Barrage as well, which whoa. Yeah. AoE damage at level 1, that's probably the best.
They could potentially, they have a ward down on the Noble Esports speed buff. They could potentially look for the mana buff steal. Vamana, he's starting the Bluestone Pendant, so it won't be the end of the world if his mana buff is stolen away. It's not Season 1, it's like you lose your mana buff in Vamana, you just like go cry in a corner for 20 minutes until you just naturally happen to soak up enough experience to hit 5, and it's like, I don't want any more of this. This is not fun. It's not nice.
But look at the recognition of the AoE damage that hi-5 have. They're just like, okay, yep, we've got Tyr and we've got Thor. We've got two big beefy brawler guys that can do buffs like this really, really quickly. They take back camps, and they're going to clear out the speed buff in a very similar timescale to Cypher and Adjust. Anyway, time to go down our lineups. Noble Esports is going to be our blue side. Jordan, tell us all about those guys.
Yeah, it's going to be Cypher in the solo lane as Vamana, Adjust in the jungle as Serqet, BK Haste picking up that Scylla in the mid lane, Junipera once again as Geb over in that dual lane as the support, and finally Xbalanque playing that Xbalanque Hunter. hi-5 on the other side, tell us about him.
Well, red health bars coming from the Chaos spawning side of the map. It's going to be El Chapu on the solo lane tier. In the jungle, it's going to be the man with the hammer. And hopefully a plan on Grishank. In the mid lane, Bolcher's going to be playing the Isis. In the support, Elbow Chacho has taken a lot of damage at this point in time, but they're also trading it back on towards Junipera. That's Elbow Chacho's Ares. Whoa, mid lane though, it just finds the kill on towards Bolcher and disrupts us before we get to Recon on the Ullr.
I gambled on which fight was going to yield dividends. We had the mid lane fight on camera, we caught first blood, production got it right! It happened! It happened!
It's a win for production.
Yes. I take what I can get. That said, yeah, a little bit of a back and forth fight.
Junipera's coming in left-hand side. It's not even going to be a chance to talk about it. Recon gets knocked well back towards that Xbalanque. He's going to get out of here. The Rising Jaguar to put some more pressure down. Junipera and Lou are the ones putting the hurt down, not Elbow Chacho and Recon.
Junipera, I mean, if I had the individual god stats of what each player was playing, Junipera would be like 90% Bacchus play. Bacchus. This isn't because this is Bacchus' band. It's like we need Geb. Box is great, but that's what we need. Junipero, how can I make Geb aggressive? Well, we have that rollout that can knock people around that no one ever makes use of early on lane. Let's give that a go and just constantly roll around the rock, hit people. Grishank, though, arrives in the party. Junie taking out a lot of damage. Zerqet Barrage doing work. Will they find that kill? Looking like it. Blue, though, trying to make an escape. Rising Jaguar bought him the distance and time. Justice coming around, but not in a good spot. Bit of a 1v3, 4-ish. BK Ace is here as well.
He's on level 5 though, and the Spirit Ball is going to tap on towards it. Just one more tick of damage. He aggroed the Gold Fury to pick it up for Grishank. Grishank was like, how did I pick that up again? No idea. But Gold Fury, look at him. Look at that swag Fury.
Yeah. Gold Fury was just like, no! Just smacked him in the back of the head and he's like, no, you're not leaving this fight. I'm tired of your like infinite mobility to get halfway across the map in a split second with your entire kit of abilities. Just no, not this time. That's all the anger of the Gold Fury from, teams always killing the Gold Fury constantly. That was the Gold Fury's revenge right there.
There was a moment on the Australian Invitational League where Gold Fury picked up a triple kill at one point.
The Fire Giant has a KDA right now in the Challenger Cup of like 0.03 or something like that.
Sniper though is forced up into the Colossal Fury, trying to run away from this one. Not able to lock him down with the chains long enough, so the big baby forced out. Sniper at least going to top up incredibly well. That's the advantage of the Colossal Fury, the sustain that comes through it. He's going to be able to get out of there. But forcing that ultimate out means that El Chapu's got a Lawbringer advantage.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help those guys out. Heartseeker online right now for Recon in that duo lane. Going to give him a little bit of a leg up over Lou on that Xbalanque. Going for those Power Gauntlets. We've seen this matchup, like the itemization matchup between those hunters all day long. This game going to be no exception, so Lou has to be careful. Recon has that stun, has the leap forward to follow Lou's Rising Jaguar. So if Lou's not careful and doesn't play it safe, could find himself getting picked up early here in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, I gotta be just a little bit careful about that one from the side of Lou. Fortunately, not able to do as much as he wants. Junipero's gonna drop down the Cataclysm and try and buy him some space and time. Well, Jana's not in this game, but getting a reference anyway.
That is for sure. Just poking his nose over to the left-hand side of this map. Will they look for something right now? It's a 4-man grouping. Harpies aren't up. Gold Fury's up, but let's face it, everyone's a lie. That's not going to happen. Speed buff, though. High Five identified that Noble Esports were on the left-hand side of the map. They walked across wards. They're going to take the opportunity to capitalize and pick up a nice speed buff for themselves. Because why not? Maybe a mana buff as well.
Well, Junipero's going to get chained up, though, at the meantime. Focus down towards that mana buff on the right-hand side of things, but Darkest of Nights is coming through. Will find a stun on towards Elbro Charger. Grishank's here as well. BK Haste, Recon leapt into that one. That was a trouble he was not looking for. DPS being dropped on towards it. There's a Last Breath looking for some spots on towards Elbro Charger. Not quite going to find it, and the rotation's not even coming through from the guys on High Five. They're going to lose a kill on that left-hand side of the map. A little bit of win for a Noble Esports.
If there's one thing to take away from the first 5 minutes of this match, leaping over walls with no vision can be quite deadly and dangerous. Recon leapt over, found 3 members of Noble Esports. They kind of knew there were some people there, but didn't realize that the double rotation was coming out. The Gold Fury had just learned the hard way a little before that. The Gold Fury is not to be messed with. I'm gonna
leaping over walls.
Yeah, don't
in general, just don't do it.
Especially if I'm chasing you and trying to kill you, just stop. It's like, oh, there's a wall. Darn, I'm done. And it's like, Zai didn't kill me. Yeah, okay, there you go, buddy. I appreciate it.
Unless you
by all means, give me kills.
Unless you
going through walls is just stupid.
Did you know it's the largest gap close or distance maker in the game? Yeah. There you go. Because of some of the length of some of the walls around the map, it's just insane the distance that you can travel. That's why it's so strong.
If you want to be technical about it, that would be Defender Olympus.
Okay, oh, wow. Flowable, bit of that... Ugh.
Yeah, you get through space and time, the portals only go about half the length of the map, so... Technically, it's,
Anyway, up went Thor, and now he's going to slam down on the left-hand side, looking for some engage. He's going to secure away the left-hand Harpies. The Junipero blink in is going to force some beads out with the Cataclysm, and Justice going to get spotted up with that rock, and now the blink into the no escape from Elbow Charger. He's at least going to get one. It's Junipero, Spirit Ball comboed up and taking some real burst.
Yep, trying to find a counter kill though. It just drops that Last Breath poison. It's taken away. Vulture will fall. The poison did spread onto Elbow Charger. That's more damage coming out from that. Not going to find any additional spreads on that, however, as Grishank will teleport with the hammer and find the kill at the BK Haste.
Whoa, what the heck was that? Recon as well is rotating around. He's looking for that slam down of the arrow onto a Just face. Didn't quite land. Was looking for Lou as well. But wow, that double tap of the hammer from Grishank. I didn't think it'd do that much. No way.
Yeah, it's definitely some more mid lane. Hello, Cypher taking a bit of damage from Elchapoo. Going back and forth like, nope, gonna just charge straight on back through ya. Left side, some farm going loose, still have to be careful. He's about even with Devour's Gauntlets, but with 2 physical power per stack on the Heartseeker. The lifesteal not yet making up for the trading back and forth for Lou. They're waiting nearby. They're waiting to just step away from this tower. They found some members of Noble in the jungle.
Barrage. It's on towards Junipero. They get the stun up on him as well. Recon to pick up the kill. He's not going to leap over a wall and find a death this time. And they've got 5 members on towards the Gold Fury. They just picked up the opposition support. Noble have to fight.
Yeah, it could be risky. Monster's out. Not going to connect. BK Hayes finds no damage on that. Up in the air, Lawbringer trying to find damage onto a number of them. Just knocked back in the wall with the Fearless. Up in the air, Recon looking for those snipes. Can he find them? That was a Grishank, not a Recon. Excuse me. They're a ROM this game. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Cypher, Big Baby does come out as they crush. Connects with decent bit of damage, but not the kills. Leap over the wall. Recon didn't actually find anybody there. First leap over a wall this game that does not result in somebody dying horribly.
Yeah, but Elchapoo and Grishank are incredibly in the backlines. Bolch is going to find another Spirit Ball, and look at the ultimate drop down from him. Didn't quite grab it. The Sentinel over the wall was perfectly timed, and Lou's looking for kills. They've got the tick damage on towards Elchapoo, but he does have a power cleave at least to sustain himself up, and Cypher's on the backside. He's still looking for kills. Fortunately for Vamana, you're not the Big Baby, and crying won't get you anything this time.
Yeah, mid lane, no escape. Will it find Cypher? Yes, it will. Spirit Ball, the ability is then knocked back as well, coming out from tier with that Fearless, finds the kill. That overall big, long, extended fight over that Gold Fury, nobody's actually played that quite well. High Five weren't able to secure the Gold Fury they secured. We're going to be doing that forever. Fire Giant again. It's just one of these things. And when it comes time for the actual Fire Giant, we're going to switch to Gold Fury, because why not? Just switch the models, hi-rez. It'll work better for all the casters. Everyone does it. We shouldn't, but we do anyway. I don't know. Yeah, about the fight, though.
Switch the names. Yeah. Serpent of Gold Gathering and Thing that Breathes Fire. I'd like those two.
What did we decide on last week? I forget the names. It was, Fire Giant was Bob. Betty and Bob, I think was what
Betty and Bob?
Came to. Betty and Bob.
But then that's just as confusing. Why not go with something like Gary, which is a very Australian name, and you can shorten to Gaza.
Nah, I don't know, it just feel like a Gary. If you look at the Siege Juggernaut in, the Wild Juggernaut rather, over in the Siege map, it's like, that is clearly a Carl. It just is.
Carl, we don't eat people.
Yeah, he doesn't get that. He gets hungry, what can you say? You know, sometimes, you know, there's no Snicker bars down there, apparently, and, you know, sometimes you just need
Grishank, though, he was looking to drop down, looking for some stuns. BK Haste was the focus, but not quite able to get on towards him. But that's at least a Thor ultimate down. It'll be back up pretty soon. That's the advantage of a Thor. Cypher and Elchapoo both rotating heavily for this Gold Fury.
I'm curious exactly what is going to be happening here. Left side of the map. Gold Fury getting started up now. It's Noble Esports. As we'll see if High Five can get here in time to stop this one. 3 members coming on in. Darkest of Nights came out to stop them. Albert Chacho blinking forward. Trying to find somebody. He's going to lock down Cypher. No! Clear the path coming out for just a couple seconds. The cripple falls off and the cooldown comes back up. He'll be able to clear the path back out, or maybe actually get forced up in the Big Baby. He'll probably survive this one.
Probably. Well, they're still looking at turret dive. The regen coming through from the Colossal Fury enough to keep Cypher alive, and in this one, he's going to hang around to mount the defense as well. This is a risky call. The blink through from Elchapoo. He's going to find a Fearless on towards BK Haste, and now he's going to turn back around and look for a Justin Cypher.
Yep, tier 1 tower mid lane will fall. High Five picked that up in addition to that gold, to answer back the Gold Fury, excuse me. As mid lane right now, Grishank may be disconnected to the wall. That is unfortunate. They're going to look for it here possibly as well. He's been holding on to it, just kind of, nope, a little bit of lag perhaps. He will end up surviving in the end. So maybe the lag, maybe some disconnecting, maybe just some very, very well played mind games to make sure he got his escape. But, you know, Swordsmanship coming out from Noble Esports, not securing that kill. You saw BK Haste holding onto that crush to kind of hopefully let him slide his way back on out. Good GG to those guys for that. Otherwise, gold sitting just a little shy of even. High Five have about 1,000 gold lead. Experience, though, a little bit in their favor with a 3.3k experience lead at the 11-minute 34 numbers. 11-minute 40-second mark. There we go. I was like, oh, it's almost 40 seconds. Should I round it up at 30 words? 40 seconds. We're here. Now wait for it. Wait. 50 seconds. I can say numbers occasionally.
Why? I don't know why this is funny. I think it's the fact that I might be sleep deprived. That might have something to do with it.
Mid lane, Blink in, gets responded to immediately by a Sikkim coming out from BK Haste. No escape. Not this time. It'll still be up and available for the next time he wants to look for something. Blink, however, will be down for a little while. It is still only a tier 1 Blink, so it's about 5 seconds out on that one. Sometimes we round things off to the 5 digits, sometimes to every 10-second intervals. We don't know, whatever. It depends on the mood. That 65 just passed. We're coming up on the 60-second mark on that Blink. Sometimes we focus on the important things. Challenger Cup. Best casting ever.
I think us losing Hindu Man was absolutely brutal to the quality of the broadcast that we sustain here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Recon's going to be looking for a stun. He's going to find it on towards Junipera, and they're going to look for him. Cataclysm, at least he's going to drop down, but Elbow Charger to find the first kill. He's looking for more with the no escape, but oh, look at the Sikkim from BK Haste. He's looking for more damage, and this fight ain't over yet.
That muzzle does work. Lou looking to chase down the kill on the Belcher, trying to use those for go mid for Harpy. I don't know. Words! Kills are coming out. Another 2 on the board for high fives. Now down to Cypher to try and answer some back. 1v2. He's up in that Colossal Fury trying to dish out that damage. Chasing down Grishank. The hammer's up whenever he decides to leave. He's not a threat right now. It's like, we can look for a kill, look to apply some damage. Cypher will have cleared the path to run away. Grishank dropped down some damage. Finally made him withdraw this fight. El Chapu doing what he can, back and forth. The slap fight is on. Perhaps wisely not diving the tower at this stage of the game. Cypher, reasonably healthy still. The tower probably would have ended up falling. Junie was on his way back to lane as well, so no deep tower diving at this point in the game for El Chapu. Later, with that tier, we'll probably see it.
Recon jumped over a wall and got to safety once again. He gets the enemy attack speed buff, and he's going to get a fair bit of pressure on towards this tower. That's sort of the focus for Hi-Fi. They're like, okay, we want to fight, play passive. Importantly, we don't need to give anything up off the back.
You're right.
They get all the waves in each of the lanes shoving, and then it's incredibly hard for Noble Esports to get the waves back on towards towers before High Five are able to base, top up, and get back in. That was the advantage that they got. They're like, okay, we want to fight, we got a little bit of pressure down, we're just going to have to settle for an attack speed buff. It's not very much, it's going to do, and then we're not going to lose a tower by overextending.
Yeah. Something interesting as well, Sovereignty was picked up at Junipera. I don't necessarily mind this pickup. You want that Sovereignty so you're a tanky frontliner. The one downside to this is you're not getting that passive gold from the Traveler's Shoes passive. You go into the fight, you're going to be tanking frontline, which is what you need to do, is what you're expected to do as that support guardian. The problem's going to be without that extra movement speed, and movement speed's nice, don't get me wrong, that's not the point. That's not the point I'm trying to make. Without that little bit of extra passive, if with a shockwave and with that cataclysm, you end up hitting 5 people, it's an extra 150 gold per fight potentially. Even if you don't win the fight, if you don't lose the fight. It's a decent little bit of an extra chunk of damage coming out that El Chacho is going to be getting that Junipero won't be.
And, I mean, the gold's nice and all, but it's also that HP 5 that comes through as soon as you're out of combat on those boots. You can roam around, you can put some pressure in mid, you can take a bit of poke, take the brunt of the damage, and then just back off into the jungle, roam around a bunch more, and he topped up. That's a huge portion of the Traveler's Shoes. Not having that online, yeah, you get the Sovereignty. You need to keep up to date with what the Ares is able to do. Sovereignty, that's the when you're behind, it's better to pick up the Sovereignty than it is those boots, if you can. Because yeah, you're going to be able to generate more gold and sustain better with those boots, but your team needs you.
And just barely able to avoid those chains, able to dash back out on that when El Chacho Cataclysm comes in the back. Junie is very, very far from his team, however. Grishank is up in the air, going to come on down onto 2 with a stun. The Berserker Barrage just wrecking everybody.
Uh-oh, BK Haste was a little bit too far forward, though, and down comes that Circle of Protections, keeping them alive from the side of Bolger. Now they're focusing down on towards Lou on the side of him. Berserker Barrage looking for the double tap. The triple kill from the Thor, and he is going huge. Cypher's a little bit still alive, and the Poison Darts to pick up 1 for Lou, but at least the Colossal Fury is down, and that is exactly what High Five wanted to get out if they were going to find any way of getting this gold.
Yeah, to try and zone out Cypher right now. He does not have Wrath of the Gods, so it's not too big of a deal if he happens to be there. A little back and forth damage, but they don't have a Wrath of the Gods on the outside either. Noble Esports will steal away. Cypher makes that play. Ooh. He's not getting out of this one alive, but one more kill on the board for 1,500 gold for your team. That's worth it. That is definitely worth it.
But that means that every single member of the guys on Noble Esports went down. That's the problem.
Are they going to try? They are going for the Fire Giant. And there is no vision over here.
There's none. There's absolutely none.
May have just made the realization that this could be going on right now. They are not responding to this one, however. That is looking like it's going to be a free fire giant coming out right now for hi-5. Grishank now standing in that particular position. They know... Actually, this is beautiful. He's not sitting at that spot in the jungle going forward. If a just caught vision of this fight going on, you see them heading in right now. They realize this is occurring. Ullr going to get caught out here. Last breath coming out in hi-5. Get the fire giant. Adjust though. The last breath poison is spreading everywhere. Double coming out. Looking for one more. Elbow Chacho does lock down the chains, but not before Just was able to leap on out. Grishank comes down, finds a Junipera, trying to lock down some more of these kills. The crowd control. The Alpha Monster's out. That's one for BK Haste.
Ooh. Yeah, and he's going to be looking for another in just a few seconds. That Cataclysm on a Grishank bursts through after his health from the side of BK Haste, and Cypher's going to join this fight right now. He's got a Spirit Fall up. BK Haste is in here with the Sikkim. Can they find a lick more damage on towards Vulture's face? They're looking for the in-hands. The dodges come out, but Cypher's going to find it.
Look where
they
Lou is.
lose almost everyone, and look at Lou. He's burned through 2. He's got them, and rhyme time indeed in this left-hand lane. Lou is coming up golden for Noble Esports.
That... Look at the graph.
Wow!
That says it all. That was a hi-5 fire giant that they pretty much just snuck in there. Except for the fact that the one person who could really burst down those low health bar members of hi-5 spotted it out, sniffed it out just at the last possible moment. Last breath, a kill, the poison all over the place, true damage spread across the board. People died horribly. They chased down the kills. Two tier 2 towers. That's 1,000 gold to bank. 1,500 from that tier 2 tower. That was a almost 5,000 gold swing for Noble Esports.
That's incredible. And look at the towers and the positions of them around the map right now. Right-hand side, they've picked up the tier 1. Mid lane, that's the only tier 1 tower left standing. They've picked up 2 on the left-hand lane. They've got a lot of control over this left-hand side jungle. And this mid tower is basically a guaranteed objective at any time if Noble Esports group up for it. It's half health. There's no supporting towers around it. The ward coverage naturally is going to favor the team that does still have that tower standing, but when there's so little surrounding it, it's such a weak objective. It's not a defensible position.
Yeah, for sure. This was rough. hi-5 were in control of this match until that occurred. You know, they're not necessarily out of it. It's only a 3,000 lead. There's no fire giant buff really available. Grishank has it. It's like, not really anything worth noting.
Focuses on towards Lou. Elbow Chacha was looking to come on towards him. Now Adjust is going to join the fight. Down comes the Darkest of Nights. Good thing to hold on to it for this long. Vulture's solo. Junipera's going to find him with the Shockwave, and now Cypher's looking for recon. What can he find? Elbow Chacho's trying to look up the backline, but it means nothing. Grishank's found Adjust at least, and now Cypher's popped out. The big baby Lou is going to find Elbow Chacho. Now the rest of the team can start to come forward.
It's 1 for 2 so far, but the mana bars inside of Noble Esports a little worse for the wear. Recon kind of in the same spot. They're trying to find kills as Junipero dances his way back to that tower. They're a little bit split right now. They need to look to regroup. Lou in the front line, boxing back with the Recon. Might actually find that kill. Leaping forward with the Rising Jaguar. Will find it. Backline. Junie and Grishank fighting it back out and back and forth. El Chapu now trying to run away. Not going to do so. Lou gets the double on that one.
Not just a double, he picked up so many kills in that fight. Look at the passive, 4 out of 6 stacks at this point in time. Gold Fury is just a minute away, so that is going to be the next objective worth contesting. And Noble are finding their way back into this game. They know exactly where Grishank is for now, but he's just run off into the fog of war, so he's going to be out of there. And look at this. This is what I was talking about, this mid tower. It's vulnerable, and it's going to go down, and that's another bit of gold swing in favor of Noble.
Yep, that basically just came down to Noble Esports able to completely surround hi-5. Every way out of that jungle, somebody a Noble was there. hi-5 were all grouped up and caught by that attack speed buff. The damage came on in. They just were able to capitalize on that big time. Grouped up for the crushes coming out. The AoE damage from Lou's branching bolas. Cypher, you know, the Armored Umbrella, the Umbrella Ring, and AoE damage abilities. And that just led them to victory in that fight. hi-5 cannot be making these mistakes. The gold lead going to continue going up in favor of Noble Esports. Just 5 minutes ago, the gold graph was telling a different story, but Noble, it seemed to have flipped the switch. Now, more or less complete control of this game, for the moment at least.
Well, they won that last fight, and they got the successful fight coming off the back of that Fire Giant call as well. Just a few things. Lou, he's looking low. They're looking for him on the left-hand side. They want to go for it, but he's outboxing Recon, and that's a huge problem. El Chapu is now looking to engage, but Cypher, he's happy to be here and be this threat.
Yeah, that boxing out comes down to the interval plus those stacks on the passive. Yeah, Heartseeker, in this case it's not fully stacked, sitting at half right now, but even fully stacked, it would be basically fairly even trading back and forth, but with the extra branching bola damage would go in favor of Lou. Gold Fury getting picked up by Noble Esports. Grishank is up in the air, but will they be able to find something? They come on down in the back. Vulture low.
Uh-oh, I'm not sure they'll be able to find him. Adjust is actually going to do that one, and Cypher's popped out the ult, and he's looking to take up whatever he can. Lou is incredibly low. He's going to live through a little bit longer. Look at the boxing potential to sustain. They've had to burn so much and go back in to kill him off. Now they're looking for BK Haste. Can't quite do that, but Cypher's just going huge in the backline, looking for a reset. Not going to find it for BK Haste, and what can they find off the back of this one?
And looking for a couple more cleanup kills. Grishank still kind of waiting behind the backlines. Has to be careful. He's about to run into two very low health members of Noble Esports. But they're also chasing down Recon and Elberchacho, who are low themselves. The damage coming out. Elberchacho trying to find something off Grishank. Nice stun comes in. Hammer finds a lot as well. Berserker Barrage. Recon cleans up on Adjust. Now the tables haven't turned yet again. Junie forced to Stone Shield himself while Cypher's trying to zone them and box him out. BK is back though.
BK, can he put the burst down? Grishank so low, but he's got the Berserker Barrage. Aegis Pendant's going to keep him alive a little bit longer from the side of BK Haste. They're going to get the kill on towards Elberchacho. Oh, Recon's going to get Cypher, but not before Cypher grabs two, and Recon to find the double kill. He is definitely making sure that even though he's a sub, his name is known at the end of this one. These fights are so back and forth. They're going both ways, crossways, double crossing, upside, flip side, everything you can take. This fight, this game, hi-5 secure a Fire Giant, they lose 4 members. Noble Esports get a Gold Fury, they win a fight for the most part, and then they lose it. What is this game?
They got the Gold Fury. So overall, that was a small victory. Lou was the, Recon was the only one who survived that in the long run. Vulture was picked up early and had just respawned. So it was a 4 for 5 fight. Noble Esports just barely losing that one in the end, but the Gold Fury came out on top of it. But they have to be careful with these messy fights like that. I mean, it's close. Look at the gold graph. That was a slight dip back towards the hi-5 side of the graph over the course of that fight. So they have to not let these things happen. Fire Giant is up. They could potentially think to sneak this one in, but hi-5, I don't think they're going to let them... You know, we're not going to fall for a plan out of our own playbook.
Not after they took the last Fire Giant. On the other hand, though, they found Elchapu. He'll have the Lawbringer. He's also got the Fearless. He's gonna jump across towards Junipera, but Junipera's just like, yo, you can't come towards me. The rest of the team's here. And Elchapu going down. This could mean a Fire Giant in Noble's favor. Are they gonna fight it? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna use the bait? Grishank's actually basing here.
Don't leap over walls. That's all can really be said about that. Cypher zoning out Vulture and Recon right now. Around the backside is Elberchacho trying to sneak his way in and steal this one away. Blink comes in, no escape onto 2. Will he find the pull? Big Baby comes out, says no, as does Beads off of Adjust. Grishank is up in the air. Elberchacho low in the back. They find that. That's Wrath of the Gods down. The damage. Berserker Barrage. I'm a monster from BK Haste misses as Recon finds the first kill of this fight.
Aegis comes down, though, is at least going to keep BK alive a little bit longer. Cypher's doing the work for his team, though. Gonna find multiple kills. Combo with Junipera. They've found Vulture. Now they're looking for Grishank. They're looking for Recon as well. The fact that Recon is still alive and Lou is not is a huge part of this fight from the side of Noble Esports and hi-5. Junipera is going to go down to Recon, and now they've aggroed the Fire Giant. Cypher's just trying to do what he can, but he's forced to just run away from this one, and what a good fight from hi-5.
Yeah, Noble were able to answer back in a big way, but hi-5 saying, no, we're still in control of this one. We're going to reestablish our lead here in the near future. Cypher, he's tanky, he's Vamana, he's more or less full build at this point, sitting on 4 items, very tanky health and physical protection-wise. Find kills, Adjust returns, Recon looking to be dead to rights, Lifesteal coming out, and not going to be enough. Cypher gets that shutdown.
Elchapu, though, is coming back in and looking for Cypher. He's going to find the one. Now it's the one-on-one between him and Adjust. Adjust looking to back up just a little bit, but no, he's going to come back in. He's going to get the heck out of there with the ambush, at least for now. But man, this game, and it's not settling down anytime soon. This is game 1 of a best of 3.
Yep. hi-5 has the lead. Noble has the lead. hi-5 looking to reestablish the lead. It's a slow bleed as far as gold's concerned. XP tells a different story. Back to even on that front. Levels are evening out. You can see a little bit of differential here. Junipera was a little bit behind earlier. Actually, excuse me. Fight coming out once again. Dark's with nice circuit protection. No escape coming in. Junie finds the kill into Elberchacho. Vulture very, very low. I'm a monster does not connect for damage, but Lou's able to clean that one up.
Ryzen Jaguar to clean that one up. The next focus was towards Grishank. He threw them on as a 2 minutes to try and get out of there. They're going to focus on towards Elchapu. He's the next man to go for. Shockwave, Lawbringer over the wall to buy him some space and time. But now, this could be a Fire Giant. There is no Hulk 3 on the side of hi-5 alive, but they're going to have to zone from the side of Noble.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it. Elchapu and Grishank both going to be difficult to zone out properly in this one. Do either of them have Wrath of the Gods? No, they do not. As they come on in, Elchpoo gets caught out and burst out.
Uh-oh, Lou's been found out by Grishank, though, and they're going to have to turn back around. Are they able to sustain the damage on towards this Fire Giant? It's just above 25% health right now. Hog away from Noble. Cypher's rejoined this one. Junipero is incredibly low from Grishank. The double tap doesn't land. The Berserker Barrage is doing a lot of damage, but Cypher's there just in time to clear it all up. Grishank goes down, and Noble find themselves with the Fire Giant this time.
4 members, nevertheless. Lou, unfortunately, not going to have that same luxury, and he's the one you really want to have it on if you have to pick anybody across your team. So the tower is going to be a little bit, Towers and Phoenix is potentially going to be a little bit more difficult to kill. We'll see how that one plays out. Goldfury getting started up with Albert Chacho waiting nearby. It's like, we'll just go ahead and reset this one. We don't want to risk that getting stolen at this point. And it'd just be kind of like a little embarrassing thing. It's like, yeah, we got the, no, we don't have the Goldfury. Yeah, stuff happens.
This game, God, I love Smite. When it's as close as this, there is no other esport in the world that compares to a Smite game that is as back as forth as this. No League of Legends, no Dota 2 match in the history, no StarCraft game or series, no COD match can compare to what goes on in a Smite game. The players' mechanics are so much more intense, and the skill required to do something like this is just off the wall. This has been an insane game, and this is game 1 of a best of 3.
Yep. And it is pretty much dead even. We're almost at half an hour into this one. Noble Esports is 6,000 gold lead, thereabouts 5,000 on the experience side of things. I touched on earlier, Junipero hadn't picked up the Stellaria boots earlier on. Travelers, I want to double check. Traveler shoes, same difference. They do the same thing for the most part. One's magical, one's physical. Gold Fury picked up by Noble Esports. Junipero earlier on, though, was a little bit behind on the gold form, was about 1,000 gold down. Tables have since turned. Albert Chacho sitting up ahead. The gold is now shifted back, 1,000 gold ahead for Junipero. 4 levels up, 3 levels up, and sometimes the numbers are hard, over Albert Chacho. So Junipero is now definitely the tanky frontline Geb that you expect to see at this point in the game. I'm actually surprised Juni's actually sitting at level 19 at even 30-minute mark. Typically the supports are a little bit further behind. So Junipero, despite lacking that movement speed from the Travelers, still keeping up. The problem is Albert Chacho, Ares. You fall behind an Ares, it's really, really difficult to have a strong effect on a fight.
He is still having an effect, Albert Chacho. He's been a crucial part to getting on towards Lou in early to mid fights. Even the back end of fights, when he's not the one initiating, he's coming in later on with the no escapes after the beats have been burned and making himself known, right? He may be level 16 at this point in time, but look at the way the XP is being picked up from the side of Noble Esports. They're gonna 5-man down this right-hand side Phoenix. There's 4 members in the mid lane. That's trouble. Adjuster's going for Vulture.
Rotation's coming in. Grishank does not find the knock-up on the stun on the back of Elchpoo, blinking on into that one. The fight is on, but it's very scattered. Noble not a great spot for this. Junipero in the front line, very low. Stone Shield on himself to stay alive.
Rollout's going, though, and he's starting to run away from this one. Cypher's in the backline doing his exact job. El Chapu is him against the wall with that one at least. They're looking for the hog stuns. They've found it onto Cypher. He's so low, but he hasn't been killed off just yet. They need a little bit more damage. Finally, they get the ticks on towards him. Fire Giant buff number 2 worn off Noble Esports, but they're going to trade it for a Phoenix, and I'm still going to say I'd be happy with that trade.
Yeah. Phoenix, for one, they kind of got what they came for. They have another... I don't know if they have time to actually go for another Phoenix at this point in time. They made use of it. Could they have gotten more? Potentially. But just to take 1 for 1, Phoenix were killed. The Phoenix will persist for the next couple of minutes with this Fire Minion swarming down that lane. It's the right lane, though, so it's right there. It's easy to deal with. But it's basically probably going to come down to this next Fire Giant fight coming up here in just over a minute. The winner of that fight, another Fire Giant. If it goes to Noble Esports, the Titan... let's face it, those Phoenixes are not going to last too long. It's another Fire Giant buff cycle. The Titan then, on the back end of it, they'll have the Fire Minion swarming around.
Yeah, let's start to talk about the compositions, though, from both of our team lineups. Who's got kind of which portion of the game? Recon is a very late game, so he's just strong at all stages. He doesn't have a weak stage of the game, but he doesn't have a straight-up overly strong stage of the game. His later game is actually consistent, very, very consistent damage-wise. It doesn't sort of fall off, it doesn't come up. His steroid is power-based, it's not attack speed-based. Now that he's level 20, he's maxed out on this steroid, and it's constant so long as he's in that range form. Brochacho, Vulture, and Grishank are a little bit more early to mid-game focused. Vulture, Circle Protections does scale incredibly well to that late game. Grishank, the ultimate still scales well to that late game, but their damage is oriented around that early game. But look at the side of Noble.
Yeah, I disagree with you and say Ultra is not really a early mid-game god around that tier. The problem ends up being Vamana. Vamana is definitely a late-game god. Look at his build. Mid-Guardian Mail, Frostbound, Runeforged, Execution, looking for a Rage in a second as well. The Frostbite means people aren't getting away from him. In that big baby form, he's getting a ton of health regen. There is no anti-healing on the side of hi-5 right now, so that 5% per second of healing is going to be a mass effect. He's going to stay alive, he's going to stay forward in the fights, and just be able to be a menace. And you have Tyr on the back line. Cyber will be staying alive and dishing out damage. Recon won't be staying alive, as just finds and just assassinates him on the left side of that fight.
And now Ullr is going to be the front line and starting to take a lot of damage. Grishake's come in and putting out some really nice AoE damage. The circle protections is down. It's going to top up multiple members. Brochacho is going to grab Junipero, but Lou, look at the damage from him. Focuses on towards Grishake with Cypher. They kill him off next, and El Chapu is going to use the Lawbringer to get the heck out of here. But this is going to be a fire giant for the side of Noble.
And there's minions on the Titan right now. It's already dropped down to 60% just from those. There's another wave of them about to head on into the base as they make quick work of that regular old wave of minions of hi-5. He's looking for the steal, but he's getting zoned out by Cypher right now. Just gotta keep him in combat to avoid the blink
40%.
on in. Sitting at
35%, 30%, 25 is gone. It's Noble Esports' Fire Giant, and that could mean trouble for hi-5. Brochacho is tanking this one up, and he can't really do anything. Adjust going to focus him out, get it on out, and El Chapu was picked up on the backside of that one. That'll probably be game. Wow! What a game from the side of Noble. They played their objectives absolutely perfectly.
Minions doing work. Respawns are coming back up, but it's not going to matter. There's no reset heal off the back of minions attacking the Titan. They're just going to rush straight on in, maybe pad stats a little bit, but the Titan is going to be pretty much dead here in just a second. 2, 1, and it will fall. Noble Esports, bit of a come-behind victory early on. They were not in the lead, but were able to kind of establish control and just, you know, maintain it for the duration of the game.
Oh, what a hype game, though. That comes 100% down to the fact that Noble Esports got every single Gold Fury that game. 4-2-0. 1-to-1 in terms of Fire Giants as well. They did exceptional. And even when they didn't get that Fire Giant, they wiped 4 of those immediately. Adjust was so crucial to that game. The fact that they were able to get those 4 Gold Furies meant that they didn't fall too far behind. You mentioned it. Look at the level 20s across the team. Level 17, Elbro, Chachu, Ares, and 17 from Bolcher. Bolcher has been such a consistent player so far through this sort of split of the Challenger Cup, but just not seemed to be on it in that first game.
Yep, well, it's only the first of a 3-game series, guys, so hi-5 are not necessarily out of this one quite yet. Noble Esports going to be going to Game 2 with a 1-game lead. They can look to secure this one in a 2-0 sweep. Unless hi-5 have something to say about it, we'll see what their answer to that one is in just a few minutes, guys. So stick around, enjoy the music. We'll be back here in just a few.